I want to show you a few photos of some protests that have been happening around the world, most recently in Cuba. They're protesting their communist regime, and you can see American flags being flown at the protest. Back in 2019 in Hong Kong, protesters were also waving American flags, and in Venezuela as well. Why do you think they're flying the American flag in these different nations?
Oh, I don't know, maybe, oh, this is, like, awkward, like, hey yo, what's up you guys, so I'm coming here with another video, and we're doing a reaction video to campus reform, talking to students, talking about what they view of the American flag, and how Cubans are flying it in Cuba, and so, we'll look into it, so shall we begin? But first, of course, if you're new to my channel, what is up? My name is Mitch, Maverick Mitch, hey Mitch, all the Mitches, and pretty much I like talking about what I'm talking about. So, current events, reviews, pop culture within the scope of entertainment, culture, and purpose. So, TV, movies, social political commentary, be sure to check out all those videos as you're finishing this video. Also, just getting into it, my recent video was talking about immigration, undocumented immigrants coming from the Lucky Boy podcast. Also, I did a video on the Freedom for Cuba protest here in Las Vegas. So this video kind of serves as a bridge to those concepts, and especially now that we are in the Olympics, Tokyo Olympics 2020 in 2021, but 2020. And so, you know, we have our fellow Americans fighting for the gold, right? Representing the US, whereas, you know, there are certain athletes, US athletes, who are still kneeling for the flag, women's soccer team. And so, you know, I think it's important to not only address these issues on the world scale, but obviously within the students that are having issues with the American flag and what the American dream and American ideology and American exceptionalism stands for, right? And so let's look into it and then talk some more. So yeah.
I'm Ophelia Jacobson with Campus Reform. Recently, protests have broken out in Cuba, and videos and pictures of the protests show Cubans waving the American flag in support of freedom and as a beacon of hope. We're here talking with college students in front of the Capitol today to see what the American flag means to them. Does it also symbolize freedom and democracy? Let's find out. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the American flag?
I would say it represents like the union of all people. But like there's clearly not a union amongst all of us. There's clearly like so many structural inequities.
Honestly, kind of like what's been going on with like the country with all the riots and stuff.
I think like the flag is a symbol of America, and obviously like America has done some horrible things, and like that's part of our very complex history. Shame, honestly. I felt like if I had the American flag and was associated with the American identity, I was associated with like a lot of bigotry and like a lot of racism. And
okay, again, a lot of buzzwords there, a lot of like, and it just goes to where it is popular to hate on America, to hate from Americans and the U.S. flag. This is how much we are gone. Like, long were the days where I was in high school when 9/11 happened, right? And we all came together. I remember that clearly, you know? Like, I remember the images of people bring, like the idea of America, you know, like, you thought you're gonna change America, and you did, and there was this image of neighborhoods without flags, and then after 9/11, there's neighborhoods with US flags, and so, I mean, these college students, they never lived through that, so it's not surprising, right? And so...
sexism and not stuff that I like really would like to think about the American flag symbolizing. So
it's a symbol of hurt. I'm African American. My family, you know, really built this country up. It's controversial.
I think it symbolizes peace, prosperity, and freedom.
Do you think it represents freedom?
No, I don't. I don't think it's as free as people think it is, and I just think it's a piece of cloth at the end of the day.
For me, no. I don't see myself represented in it, so I would not say it represents freedom to me.
I think it once did, but honestly, like recently, I'm not too sure anymore, because with like everything going on, I don't know, just, I think like we once were free, but with now, like there's like just new laws and like new things coming about that I don't know if that's true anymore.
What type of laws?
I don't know, just
Mass mandates?
I like feel like everything's like kind of blocked off.
Do you think the American flag symbolizes freedom?
Yeah, I think it would be really privileged to think it doesn't.
So I want.
Okay, so there is a glimmer of hope with that one girl, right? And so she sees the negatives because she's hearing all the same talking points, but there's a chip in there, right? She's breaking out of the NPC mold, like she's breaking out of the matrix. Like, you know what? It does. There's a level of freedom and still in there, so there's still some hope, right?
I want to show you a few photos of some protests that have been happening around the world, most recently in Cuba. They're protesting their communist regime, and you can see American flags being flown at the protest. Back in 2019 in Hong Kong, protesters were also waving American flags, and in Venezuela as well. Why do you think they're flying the American flag in these different nations?
Oh, I don't know, maybe, this is like awkward. Like,
I mean, we don't represent a socialist government, so I don't know why they would wave the flag. I'm not really sure, actually.
Do you think they're waving it because it's a symbol of freedom and democracy?
That could, yeah, potentially.
Why do you think these people are waving the American flags overseas?
That's a good question. A lot of immigrants and people from overseas here around the mall and whatnot, and it's interesting to me to see them all decked out in American flags and everything.
Well, I don't know. It's not this perfect image of equality and opportunity.
I mean, I'm from Ukraine, and so you know, we obviously.
I'm from one of the countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union, you know, oppression and shit, and socialism and communism, and I don't know,
They love America over there too. The stigma is like, you come to America, you get everything you want, and so like coming here, like it's obviously a lot different. Like you actually have to like, you know, work for your stuff, and like so I think like maybe in countries over there, they're just like maybe they're just not keeping up with like the news around here or something, or like they're maybe like thinking that like everything's fine over here and stuff.
I think they're kind of being naive by flying the.
like, you don't think that there's enough? You don't think they get news that people are hating America? Like that, like if I were to watch the news, I would think America sucks right now, you know? But despite that, I believe in America, not for what the mainstream media shows and showcases, but I know what we are living through, whatever.
The American flag?
Yes.
Do you think maybe they're being naive?
Yeah, I'd say so. Say they don't really know like what's going on. I'd say I was just saying that those like they're like our demographic, they are like the only ones for the most part who truly understand. College age students have like a pretty firm understanding of like for the most part of like what's going on and like I guess all the inequity in America.
When looking at all these protests, seeing all these American flags, do you think there's another flag that they should be flying instead? Maybe to represent more freedom or more democracy?
Good question.
What other country do you think they should be looking towards?
Maybe like Sweden. I don't know. Some European countries I think are definitely doing equality on a better or doing better at equality.
I'd say if like they're trying to symbolize equity, then like I'd say either France or Switzerland.
Okay.
Why does it have to be a national flag? We could be flying the equality flag. Like I don't believe it has to be nationalistic. I don't think we should put any country on a pedestal.
Yeah, what's the country where like there's not even really a prison system? They have like really low crime rate. Like, what is that country? You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen like maybe on like social media and stuff where they've talked about like I don't know like some place that like it's yeah.
Sorry, as she's talking, I'm thinking about the other girl who was talking why it has to be a nationalism flag that has no, it doesn't but that's the thing that she's not really getting to or she doesn't want to get to, right? That anything could be a symbol for freedom, but they choose to make the U.S. flag the symbol for freedom, and that's what she's not getting.
Yeah, like the crime rate's low and like everything's like fine and it's not like this.
But it seems like when a lot of these people are flying the American flag, it's because they're seeing America as this beacon of hope, that they want to strive to be America. Do you think that America should serve as an example to other nations, to the point where people are flying the American flag when they're protesting their tyrannical governments?
Whoa. I think America has the opportunity to be that beacon of hope. I don't think we're there yet.
Any kind of looking up to America as it is today, like, has to incorporate the fact that, like,
I'm laughing because I'm like thinking, World War II, am I a joke to you?
like we are a nation built on slavery.
Right now, no, but I think we could be.
I think it can in some ways, but I think other countries like Denmark or Canada might be better for them to look towards.
Yeah, I think we should. We should definitely be a good example and set a good precedent for freedom.
And yet, it is not, you know? If these other countries are so great, they should be having all of these, these people who are fighting true oppression should be waving those flags, but they're not. So if that is so true, if Canada is so much better, if Sweden is so much better, they should be flying those flags, but they are not.
Freedom and democracy to all.
Okay, wrapping it up, final thoughts. I think this just showcases what the college mindset is. Like, this is what, they're not even millennials now, this is Gen Z going into colleges, and this is what they think, this is what they're fed. And when a lot of people on the right talk about indoctrination, this is kind of it, you know? Even if it's not like overt, right? Like, let's open Mein Kampf, let's open the Communistic Manifesto by Karl Marx, you know? But it is within culture that these things are being affected. It's within the students, it's within the teachers that, like, progress this idea that America is the worst country ever, whereas America can be the best, you know? Does that mean America's without faults? No, but we can strive to be better. We can strive to be the best portions of ourselves. We are not the products of our failures. We are some of our experiences, right? And we look to, like, especially for those on the right, we look to and aspire to be our best rather than the left, who just looks at and focuses on every little thing that we did wrong, right? And so I think that's where the idea and the mentality is. And so when it comes to the other countries that are fighting real oppression, like, they don't have the ability to be talking about this is how good we have it, right? They don't want to talk about, like, gender equality. They don't want to talk about all of these oppression issues, but they are dealing with, like, food. They are dealing with having actual rights. They're talking about jobs. They're talking about actually having real freedom rather than talking about the freedoms that they have and complaining about it, right? And so my point is that, you know, when it comes to all of these students, they don't get that, you know, we have it so actually really good compared to these other countries fighting their actual government. And so, yeah. And so I think it's a good point to continue to look at and talk about and everything. So, cool. All right. So comment below, tell me what you think, and see you in the next video. You can follow me in my Instagram at HeyMitchMitch. You can follow me on my joint Instagram at It's Mandatory Fun, where I do other videos with my friend Jen. And see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you.